Hello everybody out there in the world. It's the homie No Cash. Yep, the one and only. If there's another, he's the phony, because you already know me, man. And look here, I'm here today. I just wanted to get personal with this video because I'm not acting like I'm a pastor or imam or philosopher or a psychiatrist, a psychologist, none of those intelligent people. Because truthfully, I realized that I'm just a nobody out here in this world amongst people who have all these labels and money and things that normal people value. I'm just a nobody in the grand scheme of things, trying to tell everybody about somebody who can save you. And most are not going to listen and most are not going to get it. But my spirit has been telling me lately, and this is the truth. I'm not trying to make it sound religious. I'm not trying to make it sound superficial. I just want to get real with y'all for a minute. I got a basketball here with me because my spirit has been telling me lately that we are playing with life like it's a game. And when you play with life like it's a game, or when you out here playing and you're not any good at the game, you're gonna lose. And it's sad that most games, when you're playing video games, they give you 3 mans. You get to die one time, you get to die again, and some of them even give you the opportunity to get extra men. You could earn extra men by the way that you play the game. Well, in that sense, we all need to understand and recognize that life is really not a game. Heads up. Life is not a game. And until you look at life seriously and take life serious, things are going to keep transpiring in your life that you don't understand, that could be detrimental to your health. Now, what made me go ahead and do this video today? And it's going to be a heavy one. This is not for the weak. This is not to be censored. But parents, if you don't want your kids to hear real deal talk and real life situations and issues, you might want to move them away from Facebook, YouTube, or wherever this video may wind up, because I know that it's going to get shared. Not for no views or not to be exploited or for me to be, uplifted. No, this is not that. I want you to put on your thinking caps, strap your seatbelt on, and get ready for this ride. It's not going to be one that you're going to enjoy, though. I'm going to get real with you. And it's real life issues going on in this world, man. I mean, my fans out here in YouTube land are sending me a lot more emails, a lot more comments to my YouTube channel. Just go and look. If you think I'm just talking to make myself sound fly, go pay attention to my YouTube channel. You don't even have to hit the subscribe button if you don't like. Go look at the comments. Look and read what people are saying to me. Good and bad. I don't care. But there are things that gets my attention that I know that my spirit needs to focus on, because I have what you call kindred spirit out there, which is people who resonate very well with who I am, my mental, the knowledge and wisdom that I do possess, and the concern and the way that I want to aid and assist them with the resources that I do have. But with that being said, I was receiving a lot of emails and comments lately from people all over the world, overseas, London, England, Philippines, Africa, you name it. But there are people in the States that I'm focused on, and I'm going to do this message right here for you all. Shouts out to Mr. Kasim. Kasim made a comment on my video the other day, just yesterday, and he was saying that he loved my movement and he's always supportive in the comments. And sometimes I may not have time to, I used to didn't have time to comment back to everybody who would comment. And ironically, Kasim was one of the people that I wouldn't comment back much to. And I knew one time Kasim found my number out there. And there's a few places out there that my number is at for my real diehard fans, that if you wanted to connect with me, you could. And Kasim found me. And Kasim would call me and we would talk about things. He said he's from California. Shouts out to California. He was telling me that he was Tupac's real life friend. He's real bothered about Tupac and the things that happened to Tupac. He talked to me about all type of music issues. He suggests songs that I need to sing. And these was the comments that he would used to put. And it was always good and positive. But yesterday, Kasim came on my YouTube channel with a comment that most of my YouTube followers saw, including my sister saw it before I did because I was at work. And Kasim made it known that he's with my movement, he loved what I'm doing, and he wanted me to keep doing it, but he ready to leave this earth because he said he don't want to be here anymore because of the things that is going on and the things that is occurring in his life. So basically he was about to attempt suicide. Now, he didn't put the reason up, but I do know that life is coming at everybody real fast, and the way that we're dealing with this is the cause of it. The way that we deal with the problems in life, or suppressing them, sweeping them under the rug, not talking about them, acting as if everything is better than what it really is when we know that our life is really just flipped up, turned upside down. It got the best of Kasim, and he let me know. And my cashier saw it before I did, and my sister reached out to me and said, man, you got somebody on your channel that's attempting suicide, you need to give it some attention. When I looked, I saw that it was Kasim, and I'm like, oh my God. So I reached back out to him, and we addressed that matter. And shouts out to Kasim, man, for keeping a level head and taking advice and using it to the best of his ability for his own betterment. Shouts out to Kasim. But I got another email from a cashier's. And that's bringing me to the topic that's at hand today, because it's not about suicide. Although I have a song called Suicidal Thoughts that I'm working on, and I'm going to put that out because the world needs that delivery from that. But this is a song more about sex and dealing with the opposite sex, or whether you homosexual. This is heterosexual, homosexual, whatever sexual you feel like you are. Now, don't judge me. I'm not a philosopher. I'm not a psychologist. I don't profess to know it all. I just know what I know. And I've learned from experience in my own life. So right now I'm going to be talking to you about personal issues in my life and things that are going on in my community, so that I can use it as an example to help you, somebody out there in your community. And I want you to understand that. In your community, if you don't deal with situations and issues the way that I'm about to attempt to deal with this issue right now in front of all of y'all face right now, you're not going to fix or heal anything in your life. You're not going to find betterment. And actually, what's going to happen is it's going to get worse. Now, I'm going to say this. Hold on one quick second. All right. Yeah, now, like I was saying, if you don't deal with these issues in your community the way that you're about to see me talk to y'all about this, because communication is key in everything. In any ship, a ship is designed to take you from one place to the next. So any ship, whether it's a partnership, a friendship, or whatever the ship is, it's supposed to get you somewhere. And if your ship is not getting you somewhere, it's because of a lack of communication. And if you don't know this, I'm going to share it with you.
Conversation rule the nation.
In the politics and, you know, the Democrats and the Republicans and all these government official people and the congressmen, they're in there having conversations and debates. And that conversation is what rules our nation. So if you don't understand that, and you don't know to talk about the situations and things that are going on in your life openly, honestly, and telling the truth, then you're going to have a mess in your life, man. So with that being said, I'm going to talk to y'all a little bit about sexuality. And that's a touchy topic. I'm not homophobic. I'm heterosexual, but I'm so not homophobic, because I feel like this. Whatever you choose to sex behind a closed door is your personal opinion. You don't need rights to do that. You don't need to put anybody in your business. All you need to do is find the person or whatever it is that you're trying to sex and get their consent, and y'all go off and do what y'all gonna do, because you don't need help to do that. I'm telling you all of the hoorah and the craziness that's going on around this is what's happening to us, trying to program us for the wrong reasons. And I'm talking about this because of an email that I got from one of my cashiers. And another thing that happened, one of the guys, shouts out to Cash, he was locked up with me when I was in prison. He lives in Columbia, South Carolina, and he just made a post on a couple of days ago sharing one of his homeboys, or somebody who he knew, who got locked up for what you call a buggery charge. Now, if y'all don't know what buggery is when you sex animals. I'm gonna say that again. He got locked up for a buggery charge. Buggery is when you sex animals. And I'm gonna get to that later, because that's the extreme of what I'm trying to show y'all right now. But homosexuality and who you choose to sex is the center of what I'm trying to show y'all right now. And if you don't be educated about sex or anything that you're attempting to do, you're gonna do it in a wrong manner. That's why when you go to the store to buy certain things, it comes with instructions. Because the person who built this thing or has the most experience with this thing, they give you the instructions to know how to best utilize what you're buying. Or if it's putting something together, they give you instructions on how to put it together so you can best do it right. Now, the moment you don't use those instructions, and you have that right, you can throw the instructions to the side and put it together yourself. But you're going to 100% all the time do it wrong. I bet you're going to leave something off, some bolt, something that wasn't hooked up right. And that one mistake could be your detriment. Now, the email that I got from one of my cashiers was about me giving them some advice. They said that, and nobody don't know this person, so I'm going to put it out there, because it ain't no need to sweep stuff up under the rug like how we like to do. We got to deal with these problems head on. He got a disease. It is not a deadly disease. He just got burnt. That's what they call gonorrhea. And he reached out to me because he's married. And he said, bruh, I need your advice. I sexed somebody on my wife, and my wife, the girl that I sexed, gave me a disease. He said, man, I went and I got myself fixed, but I didn't tell my wife. He was like, the doctor got me all fixed up. I'm cured. Should I tell my wife what happened? Well, I got in touch with the guy and I asked him questions, and I said, do you think that you gave your wife this disease? He said, no, man. But this is what we all do. We fool ourselves. We say, no, I don't think I did. I said, well, let me ask you a question then, and this is how I can give you some advice. You got to be honest with me. I said, did you sex your wife after you found out you got this disease? And he said, you know what, bro? Yeah, I sexed my wife. He was like, but I don't think she got it, man. I don't think she got it, because she ain't said nothing. I said, let me tell you a secret. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all, because I don't hide nothing with my life. Back in the day, I've been burnt. I had gonorrhea once. Back in the day, I caught crabs from a few females twice. And the first time that I got burnt and caught these crabs, I didn't know anything about that you could even catch a sexually transmitted disease. So the burning, me using the bathroom and urinating and it burning scared the shit out of me. Pardon my French. And what scared me even worse is when I got these things, what you call crabs. Because they are little insects that look like a big crab, but they're very small, microscopic, and they're down here in your genital area, all on you, itching, hurting, and scratch. You got to scratch. Now, what I'm trying to get y'all to see is that I caught crabs and I caught gonorrhea. And because of my experience with these situations and the way that I dealt with them, I did it wrong. So I learned from the mistakes and I knew how to get it right. And I actually did exactly what my cashiers did. It wasn't a wife, but it was my girlfriend at the time. And I lied to her and I didn't tell her. And she actually went to the doctor to get her normal monthly pap smear. And the doctor told her that she was burning, and she knew that she was faithful to me. She knew that she didn't sex anybody else but me for the time that we've been together. So that really hurt her. And it hurt her to the fact that I could never get that situation right with her because I lied. Now, had I told her myself and was open and honest, no, she wouldn't have congratulated me and gave me no great big hug or no box of roses or no flowers for being honest. But she would have considered the fact that I was being honest with her because she didn't have to hear it from anyone else. It came from my mouth. So at the end of the day, I shared with him that. And I said, brother, you asking my advice, so I'm going to give it to you. I think you should go and be honest with your wife and tell your wife what you've done and tell her that you've contracted this disease and that you got fixed and that you just wanted to tell her because you wanted to make sure that you didn't put her in any bodily harm. And if perhaps you did, you're coming clean because you didn't want her to hear it from anyone else. Well, I'm going to be honest with y'all. They didn't listen. My cashiers didn't listen because this was a while ago, you know, it's a while ago. But here recently they reached out to me and said, man, you were right. I said, I was right about what? They said, man, I didn't tell my wife like you told me. And she went and did exactly what you said she was doing. She found out from the doctor. And it crushed her so bad, man. He said, I'm going through so many problems where I think I'm about to lose my family. And I said, I told you so. Now, what it brings me to is, first of all, it doesn't matter who you're sexing or what you're sexing. That's your choice. But when people are not properly educated where sex is concerned, you'll do pretty much anything where sex is involved. Like for instance, if you alleviate what sex is really for, if you just overlook what sex is really for, you're going to do it for recreational purposes. And when you're doing it for recreational purposes, you're going to just have fun with it. And you're going to do what you feel like is right to do. You're going to put it, as a man, you're going to put your sexual organ where you feel like it feels good at. And that's whether it's a mouth, that's whether if it's a vagina, that's whether if it's a behind, a butt, that's even whether if it's in an animal. Now, you might laugh and you might say, ah, that's crazy, ain't nobody going in no animals. Let me tell you something. Back in my day, at one point in time, wasn't nobody going in no mouths. Because you caught the devil trying to get a female in my time to give you oral sex. You had to beg, plead, pray, offer money, be the boyfriend. Dudes was married and couldn't get it. And so, I say all this to say, if you don't know what you're doing when you're having sex, you're going to do it in all the wrong ways. Sex is to bring forth life. And if the hole that you're putting it in can't bring forth life, you should not be putting it there. Period, point blank. Now that's what I know. That's what I've come to know. You do what you want to do. But you know, warning comes before destruction, you know. And the destruction could be a sexually transmitted disease that you can get rid of, or the destruction could be a sexually transmitted disease that you can't get rid of. Or furthermore, it don't have to be a transmitted disease. It could be your mind and your mental being programmed to do something in a wrong manner till you continue doing it wrongly, fooling yourself to think that you're doing it right. And I don't care whether it's in a mouth or whether it's in an anal. You should not be doing it there. Now, you can do what you want to do. I'm not against you. Don't say that I'm judging nobody. I'm not judging. And I don't want you to judge me. If I look at this tree and there's apples on this tree and I say, ah, this is an apple tree, I didn't judge the tree. I called the tree what it is, because you know the tree by the fruit it bear. I'm going to say that again. You know the tree by the fruit it bear. So you call this a banana tree because bananas is there. I'm calling this what it is. Now, if you choose to be programmed by the wrong situations, and because you didn't read the instructions, or because you didn't have the proper life experiences and circumstances and situations to transpire in your life to teach you, then you're going to learn today, whether you want to or not. Now, you can disregard the warning, But like I said to you, warning comes before destruction. And you've been warned right now today. You need to be properly educating yourself about sex. Now, what qualifies me to tell y'all this? I went through a lot in my life when it came to sex, because I consider myself to be a ladies' man. And I've turned down more sex from women than the average man is out here chasing around to get, spending his money to get, cutting flips, bending over backwards and jumping through fiery hoops to put his sexual organ someplace that it shouldn't be. But if you properly educate yourself about sex, you and God would show you what's right about you doing it. Because, okay, for instance, there's some guys that like anal sex as long as it's with a woman. Well, I said you shouldn't be sexing in an anal, period. Because if you could go inside of an anal and produce a life, then I would probably be for that. I would probably agree with that. But because you can't bring forth a life, and because an anal is an exit, and that's where you release all of your toxins out of your body, common sense lets me know that that's not what I should be doing. Now, I'm not talking to you. I'm making this personal. You do what you want to do. But once you start programming yourself to do it inside of a woman's anal, what happens when you get put in a position when there is no woman around and you have not been trained on how to keep your composure when it comes to your sexuality? You haven't been taught how to restrain or refrain from sex, or practice abstinence, or to become celibate. Now, what qualifies me is this. I've been celibate now for going on almost 2 years. In September will be 2 years that I've been actually celibate, not practicing abstinence. I've been practicing abstinence in the beginning of these 2 years. I became successful till now that I'm celibate. And a lot of people don't want to be celibate because they don't want to be lonely. They don't want to be by themselves. And they just feel like they need somebody in their life, right? So they rush to attach themselves with any and everything that's probably not the right thing. Well, I did the exact opposite because I'm not one that likes to follow the crowd. If the crowd is going this way, I want to see what's going on this way. So what I see is happening out here is that people are uncontrollably out of control when it comes to their sexuality. They can't tame it. They can't not cheat on a woman if they are in a relationship. Now, I'm not against polygamy or any of that. If you are not cheating on someone, if you was open and honest with the woman when you met her and let her know that I'm a polygamist and I just like dealing with different women, I'm not sexing all of them, but I can't be exclusively to you because that's just not in my nature. And if you respect that, you respect it. If you don't, you don't. But I'm letting you know up front. I say salute to that guy, and that gives the woman the opportunity or the power to say yay or nay. I'm with that or I'm against that. I'm not rocking with you or I'm rocking with you. And that's cool. That's not what I'm talking about. But if you're in a relationship with a woman that you're trying to build with, and you are in a committed relationship that is leading you, that the relationship that's leading you from a relationship to an engagement, and from an engagement to a marriage, you should not be unfaithful or disloyal to her. And you should be, the relationship and you and her communication should be open enough that y'all can help condition each other to be strong enough to get where you need to be. Now, nobody is perfect. You may slip up and make some mistakes here or there, but after being open and honest and truthful about it, and y'all talk about it in communication, you fix it, you patch it up, you learn from your failures, and you keep it moving. Now, if you're not able to do that, stop getting in relationships. But what I'm seeing is men, and it's not a youth or an old thing, because I'm seeing men 10 years my senior that has been married for 15, 20 years, friends, associates, people in my community that I know. They are the men. I can't speak for the women because I don't know women, but men, I know they're cheating because I know some of the women they cheat with. I talk to some of the women that cheat with them, talk to me. Even the men that cheats, they feel like it's a cool thing. It's a manly man. Ooh. They think it's a manly thing to cheat or to have many, many different women. And I'm going to tell you something. I once thought that way too when I was ignorant. But the Bible tells you, my people perish from their lack of knowledge. And I caught those diseases that I caught, gonorrhea and burnt twice, because of my lack of knowledge, my own ignorance. But once I educated myself, I realized I needed to do things better with my life. And until you do the same thing, what's going to occur to you, men, is that you're going to find yourself in a position that you're going to be contracting diseases, and it's going to happen so much to you ain't going to really be able to control it. It's crazy. It's crazy that I'm telling it to you like this, but it is what it is, and men are not being open and honest, and they're lying to themselves, and they're lying to these women, and women, you are becoming a victim of circumstances, because you're contracting these diseases as well. And Lord forbid that it be a disease that you can't get rid of, because some of y'all going to be innocently in a situation that's going to cause you your life. It's going to cause you detriment to your life. And I ain't talking to just anybody. There's some people out there that know I'm not lying, because there's a woman watching this video that knows she contracted the disease from a man that she didn't cheat on. And some women are out here getting the diseases themselves, because I'm not just going to male bash. Women are cheating too. Women haven't been properly educated when it comes to sex. And women are doing things that's animalistic when it comes to sexuality, because they have what you call seduction. And men are weak. We do everything that we do in life to catch a woman, whether it's the way we wear our hair, the type of clothes we wear, the type of money or job that we choose, the money that we make. It's all to impress a woman. And when you get the wrong woman and she don't value you, and that ship is abandoned, that relationship is abandoned, that woman is sexing any and everybody, including you. So now y'all playing an exchange of foulness. And all type of diseases being transmitted in an ignorant manner. And I'm seeing people fall victim to this right before my eyes. So I had to come out here and be open about it. Now, that's just with homosexuality and heterosexuality right there. That if I didn't say enough already to speak to you, to let you know to slow down, back up, man, don't go to that dog. If I didn't say enough to you to let you know to slow down and get your life in order and intact, this is your warning. The next thing is going to be destruction. Now it brings me to this next thing with this bestiality right here, with this guy from Colombia getting locked up for sexing his pit bull. My homeboy who was locked up with me just made a post on Facebook sharing this guy who he know, who's in his area, who liked this pit. He loved this pit. They thought he loved his pit. He washed his pit. He talked about his pit, how good his pit was. But the cops find out that this man was sexing his pit bull, a female pit bull. Now, what you would ask yourself, what could bring you to want to sex an animal? The same thing that will bring you to want to sex somebody's behind or somebody's butt. The same thing that will bring you to want to sex somebody's mouth. Because it doesn't matter, a hole is a hole. And when you out here just trying to ejaculate or just trying to masturbate or whatever it is just to get off, then guess what? Whatever way that you're going to get off is going to be fine with you. Because all you want is a quick nut. You just want a quick fix. Whether it's masturbation, in a mouth, in a behind, or in a horse's behind, or a dog's vagina. It sounds crazy, y'all, and I can't make it sound no better, because when you're trying to heal or deal with the truth, it's something that hurts a lot of times. When you peel a scab off of your sore, it hurts and it bleeds, but it helps you to heal. And I want y'all to know that you can't do this in no nice way. And my spirit told me it wasn't no way for me to really nicen it up or butter it up. I wanted to put it in a way that it wasn't disrespectful or vulgar in that manner. But I want y'all to know that if you don't grab a hold of your sexuality and learn what you need to learn about sex and the appropriate ways to do it and what is the proper outcome, you're going to find yourself in some situations like this too. Now, there's a lot of guys, girls out here dealing with guys that don't even know that he likes sexing in man's anal, in a man's anal, because he's not going to tell you that. All he want to do is get off. And when you're out of town, or when you mad at him, or when he can't have you his way, and there's a man around that would allow him, and we know that there's plenty of men out here in today's society that gets down like that. They're homosexual. And I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. Don't judge me. Here again, I'm just telling you, I'm calling the tree by the fruit it bear. Be careful what you're doing out here, because I'm hearing girls even come to me and being honest, saying they got boils on them, like risings is what my grandmama called them, big things of pus on them, bumps in their vaginal area, all kinds of foul, a smell, a stinky smell that they can't get rid of. There's only 3 major ways that you can defile yourself and do something to really hurt yourself. And that's the things that you're eating, your diet. That's the air that you're breathing. And that's the things that you stick your sexual organ in. Because those are the quickest ways that you can defile your temple and your body. If you don't practice a good diet, if you don't be careful the air that you're breathing in the environment that you're in, and if you don't be careful the people who you are entertaining in sexuality, you are killing yourself and making your days upon this earth shorter. Now, it sounds crazy that somebody would be sexing an animal. And when I was in prison, I read about a guy who was locked up in the paper for sexing a horse. And he used to clean these people's horses. And he used to let them clean the horses. And they used to wonder why he had such of a good relationship with the horses. And the lady busted him one day, sexing the horse. And this was her story. She said she let him slide and told him to don't do that anymore. The man was addicted to it. And she caught him again, and she called the police on him, and they locked him up. The point I'm trying to make is, if you don't be careful and set yourself down into a nice quiet space and find out the correct way that you should be doing things and how you want to go about doing it in a manner that's correct and appropriate for you in your life, you're going to open your life and yourself up to these circumstances, and you don't even know. There's some innocent little girl who's probably a virgin or who ain't had many sex partners in her life, who's going to meet a man with money or dressed a certain way that she's attracted to him because her mama and daddy told her, don't go out there and go get no broke man. That's the only information that they equipped her with. Make sure your man can take care of you. Well, don't you know that there's AIDS victims out there who can take care of you? Don't you know that there's plenty of men with money out there with diseases? Some you can get rid of and some you can't. Herpes, gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, AIDS. And now listen, I'm not trying to scare you, because shouts out to Magic Johnson. He attracted HIV virus, and he still has his wife. And his wife didn't leave him. I guess because maybe he got it right. He told the truth. He fixed it. He got his self-treatment. And Magic Johnson has been living with this HIV ever since I can remember, man. A long time. And the guy seems like he's one of the healthiest brothers in the game. But you don't hear nothing about him cheating. You don't hear nothing about him messing with other women. And his wife didn't leave him. So you can get it right. But why wait until something like this happens to you for you to put this into patient practice and get your life in order? This message is for somebody out here. I don't know who. I don't know whether it was put together by me in the appropriate manner or I did it in the best I could. You know, I try not to be vulgar. I try not to be disrespectful. I try not to be biased. I am a heterosexual. I'm not homophobic. I'm not telling you what to do or who to sex. I'm just telling you there's a right and a wrong way to do what you're doing with anything that you're doing. There's a right and a wrong way to have sex. And there's a right and a wrong way to love. There's a right and a wrong way to love somebody. Keith Sweat told us that a long time ago. Now, if you don't take the time to learn the appropriate ways to do it, then you're just going to be doing it wrong. And what I've noticed is, out of 100% of the people out here in the world, 75 to 80% of us are doing it wrong. And the other 15 to 20 could become in a detrimental situation if they're not careful. So I know now that I'm a part of that 20 because I'm celibate. And do you think that when I get back, if I choose to get back in the sexuality game, that I'm going to just do it frivolously? Or I'm going to do it without protecting myself? Or I'm going to do it without me and my mate going to the clinic? How many of you can tell me that before you're sexing the people that you sex, that you suggest that y'all go to the clinic to get checked up before you do it? And I bet you none of y'all can tell me that. And you women out here who act like you're so nice nasty about somebody touching your food with their fingers that may have been clean. And this is your food. Don't touch my food or play over my food, but you out here putting penises in your mouth. You playing with yourself. You fooling yourself. Girl, don't do yourself like that. I know I just made you think about something that you never thought about just now with that, if you're really truthful and honest with yourself. Now, if you're somebody who wants somebody to play with your food and you don't give oral sex, then I can understand that. But if you out here if you out here performing oral sex on people, you should not care about nobody putting their fingers on your food, especially if there's somebody that you love, your child or your mate. Stop fronting. You live in a lie. And until you get it right, y'all, we all headed for destruction at the hands of somebody else. Now, I'll be damned if I'm going to let somebody else cause me to go to my grave because of a good time, just so I can have fun, or so I could ejaculate, or get off, or bust me a nut, you know, the things we like to say. I'll be damned if I'm going to let that happen to me. So I got to be as real as I can with y'all to address this matter, because somebody out there got a disease right now watching this video, and they don't know how to deal with it. I know men that had kept a disease and didn't even want to go to the clinic to get fixed because they didn't want the people at the clinic to know them. So how do you keep your bird or your penis burning because you're embarrassed to go and get fixed? And if somebody would keep gonorrhea or crabs or herpes, syphilis, because they don't want to get fixed, Lord my God, that stuff causes you to go blind, you lose hair, and a host of other things that happen to you, even death. And they don't even care, man. And they'll go and sex the next woman and the next woman and the next woman, and she'll receive him because he got a little money, or because he dressed the part, or because he's driving a certain something. Man, those are not reasons why you should be choosing a person to sex. And once you are attracted or infatuated to someone, that you are thinking about sexing, please go through the appropriate procedures before you lay down in the bed with them. And a condom is not the appropriate procedures. And we all know that if we tell the truth, I got a song called Everybody's Fucking Everybody. And I can't say that in a better way. That's the name of the song. Everybody's fucking everybody. And it's the truth. And if they're doing that and not being open and honest, and we know everybody ain't using condoms, be honest with yourself. Tell the truth. That's why you want to be in relationships with somebody, because you want to tell yourself in the name of the relationship, you want to take the condom off. Or nowadays, they're not even wearing the condom off the top. I know it. I'm telling you the truth. I got friends that be honest with me and say they never wear a condom with females. And that's why I got dudes that I know that I would never sex behind. I don't care if they were sexing Jennifer Lopez, and Jennifer Lopez came to me to give me some, and I love the way Jennifer Lopez looks. She's very pleasing to the eye. I would not sex behind these guys. I don't care if it was Beyonce. And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of these guys with the money, the fame, the look, and all this stuff happening for them, they're the ones who are out here juggling the most women. They're juggling a lot. And they're not having safe sex. And they're contracting diseases. And they're not getting fixed a lot of times. And what happens when you juggle a lot of balls? You begin to drop. You begin to drop some. You know, things begin to happen to you. And when you haven't been schooled or taught on how to deal with things appropriately, all you do is just pass it on or pass it along. And that's dangerous, y'all. Now listen, I'm not a philosopher. I said that in the beginning. I'm not a scholar. I don't profess to know it all, but experience is the best teaching, and experience has taught me some things. And I just wanted to come on here and share them things with y'all. Whether you get it or not, this is fine. You can laugh at this video, you can laugh at me. It's fine. Somebody else is going to get the last laugh if you don't pay attention to this warning and heed to this message that I'm giving to you right now. Because warning comes before destruction. All right? I'm going to leave you with that. And I'm not a philosopher, neither a scholar, but I am a master. I'm not a master teacher. I'm a master student of my mother, father, Lord, God, source, who teaches me through experience. And experience is the best teacher. And I know that this message right here is for somebody, and it's not going to fall on deaf ears. So when you hear this, whether you have a disease or not, whether you're homosexual or not, whether you're heterosexual or not, whether you're doing it right or whether you're doing it wrong, you can figure something out and begin to experiment with your own life and get your life in order and get things intact. Because if you don't, you're going to take yourself to your demise. Death will be the next step. Because sex is the beginning of life and sex is the ending of life. And if you don't understand that and educate yourself like I did, you will fall victim to it. Because you live by, you die by. You live by the gun, you die by the gun. You live by your sexuality and just sex and anything and just for fun, you die by it. Now on that note, once again, it's the homie No Cash, and I'm signing off with a big 10-4. Over and out. Peace and love. I'll holler. Get your life in order.